Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here. I hope you're all doing well. In this video I was going to talk about the apparent desire to take the Battlefield franchise to an annualized release cycle. So this would be getting a new Battlefield every year, such as how Call of Duty do things. This was a thing that was muted a couple of weeks ago, and I read a couple of articles about it, but I didn't get around to doing a video on it. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to bother now, everybody else has covered it. But for those of you that don't know, they are looking to do an annual release of the Battlefield franchise. Now, it's not written in stone, it's not sort of been fleshed out yet, but they do have a number of studios involved in Battlefield at the moment in the development of Battlefield 6. So for instance, you've got DICE, who are obviously the main ones. You've got Ripple Effect Studios. They've been sorting the sort of console ports of the game. And then you've got Criterion Games, which have been working on the vehicle mechanics and environmental design. And then you've got Motive Studio, who have been doing the campaign side of the game. So there's quite a number of studios there. And basically what's happened is one of the lead developers, in fact, actually, I think he's the guy that's running the franchise at the moment, has said that they want to go to annualized releases. So this means that in 4 to 5 to 6 years' time, we will start to see a Battlefield release every year. Now, of course, the reason for the wait is because every studio would have to start developing a year after the other studio had started developing, so that once the first one's ready to go, then the next one will be ready the year after, and so on and so forth. Just the way that Call of Duty do things at the moment. Now, I've read a lot of articles about this, and I've listened to a lot of people's opinions in videos, and I've got to say, I'm not too thrilled about them doing that if that's the route they're going to go down. My personal opinion is that I don't really want a Battlefield every year. I mean, yeah, I suppose I would love one, but I just don't think I've got the time for one every year. You know, Battlefield games are huge in development. They're huge when they come out. They put a lot of sort of extra maps in there. There's enough content to keep you going for years. This is how they work things out with previous releases. There's a release every sort of 3 to 4 years, and you get enough sort of DLC and additional content to see you through those years. And the game always seems good. It doesn't seem to wane very quickly like a Call of Duty game does. They do a Call of Duty every year. In fact, they've done one every year, barring in the early 2000s where they missed a year. But every year it's had a new one come out, and the thing with Call of Duty for me is I'll play it for a couple of months and then I drop it. I don't bother with it again. Whereas Battlefield, I kind of do the same, but then after a couple of months I'll go back because I'll know there'll be additional maps added in, there'll be new content to go at, there'll be battle passes and things like that to do. And I just enjoy playing those throughout the course of those couple of years, and getting one every year, you would have to kind of condense that all in. Now, some people have quoted that quality would go down doing one every year, but you have to remember that the actual development cycle would still be 3 years, so I'm not sure that the quality would go down, but it could do. I don't know, I'd have to wait and see on that one, but yeah, my personal opinion is I don't want one every year. Maybe every 2 years would be a little bit better. You know, sometimes 3 years seems a little bit of a stretch, and I do go off and do other games and don't bother with Battlefield too much. So maybe every 2 years would be a good compromise. I think every year, for me, is just a little bit too much. But news has come out in the last sort of 24 to 48 hours that EA is actually getting taken over. So there is a $55 billion all cash deal on the table to take EA private. Obviously EA is a publicly traded company at the moment, lots of shareholders, but this takeover want to return it back to a private company. So there are 3 people involved in this at the moment. There are Silver Lake Partners, who are an equity firm. You've got the Public Investment Fund, which is the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. They're already stakeholders in EA, but they're looking to increase that as they take it private. And then there are Affinity Partners, which I think that's the Jared Kushner is something to do with Donald Trump. Not too sure. I think he's his son or son-in-law or something like that. They're all looking to buy into it and take it back to private. They're also looking to give out $210 per share, which apparently is 25% above premium. So the people that are investing in it currently are going to get a good return on their investment. But this is going to be a leveraged buyout, and what that means is that this is going to be leveraged against a lot of debt. So whilst those 3 partners are going to put plenty of money in towards this $55 billion deal, $20 billion will be loaned from JP Morgan, and that will be leveraged against the company. So straight away the company will be in $20 billion worth of debt, and that debt will have to be serviced year on year. Now, you can say that EA hasn't been the best employer or the best sort of games publisher out there. It was slated for a number of years. A lot of people don't like it, for its bad practices. They've taken some franchises over and ruined them. They've kept others going to a certain degree. I mean, I would say that they're partly responsible for bringing Battlefield down. As soon as they swallowed up DICE, I knew that DICE wouldn't give us a quality product that we've been getting before, although Battlefield 6 looked like it might be a return to form. But there are a lot of other franchises out there that suffered under EA. So can them going private be a good thing, or will it be a bad thing? In terms of Battlefield and the annualised releases, will them going private mean that they definitely want to push forward with this? Or will they step back and take a look at it and think, you know what, that's probably not the way to go? Yes, you could rinse hell out of Battlefield if you wanted to, but first and foremost, you've got to have a good product on your hands. Call of Duty is a license to print money. Battlefield, not so much. I mean, if you want to look at things in certain terms, you can say that Call of Duty is the more popular game, but you can say that Battlefield is the better game. But I always look at it like this. When you've got that aunt and uncle and they don't know what to buy you for Christmas, everybody's heard of Call of Duty and they know there's a new release sort of every October, November, so they just go and get them Call of Duty because that's what everybody else is playing, so they buy it. Not so much with Battlefield. So I do think that EA have a little bit of a fight on their hands to make it as popular as Call of Duty, and like I say, it's just got to win over a lot of people, and I don't know whether it can. I wouldn't say that Battlefield is niche, but it's definitely niche compared to Call of Duty. So we'll have to wait and see how this sale affects Battlefield. Obviously, in the short term, it's not going to affect Battlefield at all. This has to go through regulatory approval, so it's going to be early 2027 before this might even get sort of... Yeah, actually, do you know what? I'm reading this on Copilot, and it's saying that it won't close until the first quarter in 2027. That's a year and a bit away, so because I know we're not in 2026. So that's a long time for that sale to go through, so there's a lot of space there. And obviously, could it be that these investors don't want to have an annualised release, but it actually already the wheels get put in motion before the sale gets done? I don't know. Or maybe there's going to be something whereby all halts will be put on development whilst the sale goes through. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how them going private actually affects this. Then you've obviously got all of the franchises that these people are going to be buying. There's some huge franchises there. Obviously, you've got Battlefield. You've got Apex Legends. I mean, I don't know how popular Apex Legends is anymore. I've never played it. You've got Titanfall. Obviously, that's a big one for a lot of people. They'd love to see a new Titanfall done properly. You've got Dead Space. You've got Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor's been sort of out to the wind for a long time. Will they resurrect that? And you've got all the sporting ones. You've got Madden NFL, the NHL, the UFC, the F1. You've got some of the other racing ones like Need for Speed. Are we going to see a good resurrection of Need for Speed? That would be interesting to see. You've got Mass Effect, Command and Conquer. Who would love to see a new Command and Conquer this day and age? It's been such a long time, and I've got such fond memories of Command and Conquer. Then you've got The Sims, SimCity. It's been 12 years since we had a SimCity, and the last one was pretty jank, so could they bring that back? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, they're going to have some pretty interesting franchises on their hands. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But to go back to the original question, annualised releases for Battlefield, it's a no from me. Every 2 years, yes. Every year, no. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you think it's a good thing that EA is getting bought out? Do you think it might all go tits up for them? Indeed, leveraged buyouts aren't always a successful thing, and there has been some huge losers in the way that companies are bought like that. So it could be that this goes that way as well. We'll have to wait and see. $20 billion worth of debt. JP Morgan are going to want, the interest on that, and they're going to want it paying pretty fast, I would have thought. So a lot of people are saying that we're just going to rinse games with microtransactions and things like that, but doesn't EA do that already? Or is it going to get worse, or would it get better? Maybe EA might lift their foot off the gas and actually start to do things right with some of the franchises. We can only hope. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.